first morning in the new home and I could not be happier. I am just so excited to be here and I'm loving everything about this new space. Our first night spent here kind of just flew right by because we were so drained and exhausted from moving day that we were just eager to get some rest. So we slept like rocks, needless to say. It was a lot of work though, which is kind of unfortunate because we have a lot more to do yet today and tomorrow and probably the next few weeks. For moving day yesterday, we moved almost everything from our apartment. There are still a few items lingering in there that we're going to have to fit in our cars today when we go back to actually clean our unit so we can get hopefully all of our security deposit back. But yesterday we moved most of like the substantial things. We honestly just moved everything into the garage yesterday initially, and then Hunter and I just kind of put it away leisurely throughout the rest of that day. But moving just the stuff into the garage took like all of yesterday. It was such a kind of unpleasant surprise because we had figured we would pick up the U-Haul at 9, which we did, and then we figured we'd have it returned by like 1 o'clock. So then we would be done with moving, we would return the U-Haul, take everybody to lunch. It would just be a nice little day, but no. We were moving right up until like 3:30ish. We didn't get the U-Haul back until around then, and it was like just in time for closing actually, because the U-Haul closed at 4. So literally the entire time we basically used that U-Haul. But yeah, it was definitely an all day endeavor and experience, very much busy and overwhelming, because when you weren't actually moving something into the U-Haul or a vehicle, you were thinking about what you were going to grab next and what you were going to help move next, or how we could strategically place things in the U-Haul or in a vehicle to optimize the space. But we finally did it around 4 p.m. yesterday. We have concluded the actual move, and now it's just a little bit of extra steps here and there to make this house a home. So today, our agenda to try to advance that mission is to move some more of the stuff from the garage in here and in its rightful place in the home. And then, like I said, not related to home, but definitely part of the process, we have to go back and clean our apartment. So those are the two main priorities for the day. After that's done, probably in the next video, we will start to do the grocery shopping, start to order the furniture, pick out furniture, start to purchase some maintenance items like a dehumidifier for the basement and salt for the water softener, things like that. We'll start talking a little bit more about some of the other home projects that need to get done around here. We don't have our concrete or our grass planted yet, so those are things we're gonna need to be thinking about in the near future. But for now, we are just going to focus on moving, unpacking, and saying goodbye to our apartment and turning in those keys. And of course, enjoying the space. And we both definitely are. Hunter actually said last night that he was house happy, which made me really happy because obviously I knew that he liked the home and he approved of the home and he wanted to be here because he signed the papers with me, and we both did half of the down payment together, and he's agreeing to do those mortgage payments. Obviously, like if you are going to do that, you have to like the home, but to actually hear it and like hear that confirmed verbally from your partner just kind of hits different, because it makes me feel very fulfilled, especially as someone that's definitely a words person. Like I like to hear things spoken. But yeah, we're going to head out pretty shortly here to actually get going on our apartment. We're going to try and get that done first today before we start doing all the moving, because we have to turn in our keys before the end of the month. And it just, I think it'll feel good to have it done with and over with. I will see you there. pretty good progress with unpacking and continuing to move in. Since we're in a pretty good spot now with unpacking and moving, I figured now would be a good time to show you my vision for furnishing this space that still remains rather empty even after move-in day. Reason being either number one, because we just did not have the furniture to begin with that this space commands, or number two, because we had the furniture, but it was a hand-me-down and it was getting a little bit worn and we just didn't see a vision for it in this space, so we didn't move it and transport it here. Either way, our main floor is rather empty right now. I'm sitting in our empty dining room because we did not have any sort of dining set in our apartment. And our living room only has a rug and a TV on the ground currently. So just on this main floor, we're going to be looking at needing a dining set, a couch, and an entertainment center sometime in the near future. And being the planner that I am, I have already picked out some pieces that I think would be perfect for this space. My goal with furnishing this house is to accentuate what's already going on. I don't want to overpower the different finishes they chose in the flooring, in the wood, in the carpet, in the paint colors. I am in love with all of it, and I just want to continue that, make it a continuation of what's already here that we fell in love with to begin with. The home unfurnished has a very light, airy, fresh, creamy, warm kind of color scheme going on. So I want to match that and play off of that. And on top of that, I think it will look really nice given that the main floor is very open concept, so that everything that I use to furnish the space is matching and kind of meshes together and blends really nicely and tastefully together. That's kind of what I'm going for. So let me get up, let me pick up my camera, let me show you kind of the vision in full. So to refresh your memory on the colors in the home that we're looking to tie into our furnishings, we have a very light natural wood with a gray wash to it on any wood in the home. So on the staircase railings, as well as any cabinetry in the home, we have very neutral tones in the carpet and the floors with a little bit of that gray wash tone as well to it. We have very creamy walls, and then there are black and white accents throughout. You have black on the staircase railings, again, on any knobs, handles, lighting fixtures, things like that. And then you see the white on the trim around the windows, also in lighting fixtures on the door, on the countertops. I felt like we could either run with the natural look of the home, the light, warm, airy vibes, and go with very light, neutral colors, or we could try to tie in the black accents going on throughout. So I actually went into Canva and plugged in a picture of an area of our home, and then I would find the furniture pieces I was considering and use the Adobe Express background remover to remove the background and then plug them in here so I could really see them in the space. And I was between one of two different color schemes, one that's very high contrast with the black tied in, and then one that's very low contrast and warm and soft with a lot of those neutral, light, airy, zen-like types of tones. I really like how both look for different reasons, but overall I think I am more into the neutral vibe with just hints of black in it. As you can see, the accent pillows on the couch have black, and obviously the fireplace has black handles and knobs, just like our cabinetry in the kitchen. These bar stools, by the way, are chairs we've already had that we brought here from our apartment, so kind of put those in there as a given. But I don't know, I feel like this looks very modern, bold, very clean, and I feel like it almost looks better in Canva, but this I just envision looking better in person in our space and making the space feel cozier. So looking at the actual space, we have the living room here, which leads into the dining room, and then the kitchen is right here. You saw the furniture pieces I was actually looking at in that Canva design I just showed you. So you saw a nice big creamy colored sectional, and then a nice entertainment center with kind of a beige cabinet color, and then a nice neutral countertop color that plays off the floors a little bit. We do already have a rug down that will match both. I feel like the camera's not going to do it justice, but it's really, really special and pretty and unique. It has lots of different colors going on throughout it. You have a little bit of a silvery hue that reflects really beautifully off the light. You have some grays, you have a creamy warm tone in there, you have some deeper tones that are a lot like the flooring. I feel like this rug just really ties together the entire space super nicely, hence why I fell in love with it. So right off the bat, I had my heart set on that sectional you saw in the Canva design, not only because I think the color and the fabric and the style of it would just look perfect in the home, but also because we actually are very familiar with the couch. We know and love it because it's in my parents' home. Many a nap has been had there. We've cozied up on it plenty of times. They've had it for 2 years now, and it still looks like it's in great condition. So we did go through a phase where we thought it might be too big in here. We taped it out without the rug being down, and we weren't super sure about it in relation to the railing here. But once we had the rug down, we retaped it out, and it looked
like it would be fine. It might be a little crowded, might make the room look smaller, which is something my dad kind of pointed out to us, but we love the couch. And after shopping multiple weekends looking for a different couch and a different style, we just haven't found anything we like better from a practicality standpoint. For a while, we had considered doing like a 2-seater, a 3-seater, and then a single-seater all around here, thinking maybe it would suit the space a little bit better, but I can't quite get with that. And plus, a lot of them did not include ottomans that I liked, and I am an ottoman girl. I'm not a coffee table girl. I love to just get comfy cozy on the couch. I don't like a sitting couch. I like a laying couch. And even though an interior designer might recommend doing something like that to make the space look larger, I'm not really a fan of that look. I feel like it looks almost more cluttered, and I really like the uniform look of a sectional with the ottoman put in it. It's just like a big square, and I kind of like the conformity of it, and I feel like it would look cleaner and crisper in the space. It's like a U shape, so there's plenty of spots to lay. I absolutely despise couches where there's like one comfy spot or like just one chase, and everybody just fights for that spot every single time. And if you don't get it, your mood is entirely changed for the entirety of the event. So just wanting a couch that everyone can feel comfortable on, that there's plenty of room on. So that's the situation over there. And then you also saw the entertainment center in the Canva photo as well. It's a nice long entertainment center, again, with like beige cabinetry and then a neutral surface. And then it also has a built-in electric fireplace, which I am loving the idea of. I just feel like that would be so cozy in here. And then of course, as we turn over here, I do have a dining set in mind also. The ones in the Canva, one was black and one was like a natural wood color, and both of them are actually the same exact dining set, the same style, just in different colors. The thing that's really risky about it though is it's an online only dining set, not in store at all. I've not seen it in person at all whatsoever. There's not a whole lot of photos of it besides the actual model photos they have on their website. But based on those photos, I feel like, and I fear that it may be perfect for this space, but it's going to require me taking a risk a little bit and going out on a whim. If I decide to go through with it, it could be the perfect shade to match our cabinets because it's like that same light natural wood, but with a gray wash to it. And as you saw, it was a rectangular table with 2 seats, another 2 seats on each end, and then a bench. So we'll see what's decided there. I haven't made any decisions yet, obviously, but wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of the vision and what I'm thinking for furnishing the space, because I'm sure we're going to be looking to that sooner than later.
I hope you're not quite tired yet of seeing me vlogging sitting on the floor in an empty corner of my home, because it feels like that's what I've been doing for every talking clip in the last 2 videos, but I feel like I'm a seated vlogger. Like, I prefer to sit while I'm speaking, but I also kind of just like the energy that it gives. I feel like being in an incomplete space that this is, it's just very much giving. It's still fresh, it's still new, it's still a new home for us. Like, it's still incomplete, it's still a work in progress. So despite the fact that this is a completely new space for us, completely new home, completely new format, completely new look, completely new city, I am feeling very much at home and very comfortable, which I love. I feel very safe here, which is very important as well. Although I do have like a weird nagging intrusive thought that we should check the attic to make sure that it's empty, because it's the most irrational fear and paranoia. I don't know why that even crosses my mind, but something in me is like, we've seen this whole house. We did a walk through the whole house. We've seen everything in this house except for the attic, which just so happens to be in our master bedroom closet. Will I actually take the time to peek in there? Probably not, okay? Probably not, because realistically, why are we doing that? But I don't know. Like, intrusive thoughts are winning. The thing that's really been kind of baffling me about this whole house has been the fact that it's 2 stories. It's so strange going from spending your life in a little 1,300 square foot apartment that's just 1 floor, no loft or anything. You're just like wandering that space and roaming that tiny space, and then you come into a home where you're on 1 level that feels big enough as it is, but then you also have an entire 2nd level on top of that. I just forget sometimes. Like, it just feels funny, and I kind of like trip out a little bit going up the stairs to the bedroom, as opposed to just walking a few steps across the apartment through the kitchen and through the living room. The other thing that has been a huge adjustment, but a good huge adjustment, has been the amount of space here. It's kind of crazy just how much we have for storage, or just like closets and areas where we can actually put things away and out of sight. In our apartment, we were kind of forced to keep a good amount of appliances in the kitchen on our countertops, like out and about. We did not have a pantry in our kitchen, which forced us to use up a good amount of cabinet space on just food, whereas here all the food's in the pantry and we have just dishes and things in the cabinets. There are so many closets tucked throughout the upstairs for like linens and towels or whatever it be. They really thought super smart with this home and how to optimize the space. So I'm loving that. And then on top of all that already, the basement is huge. It's so funny because we had some storage totes full of like holiday decor and things like that that we only pull out a few times a year or once a year, and we had those sitting in our spare bedroom closet in the apartment, and it took up like all the shelves in there. We take them down to our basement here, and it's just like this tiny corner. It fills this tiny corner of the basement. Another thing we're really loving that we were really hoping to love and really excited about was the fridge and the fact that it has a really good water maker and ice maker. That was a happy moment to know that the fridge water is good. And I feel like something about being in a new space has like refreshed my creativity and invigorated it and given me like a new zest for life. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a lot of excitement and a lot of eagerness for the future that we're going to have here. And as a content creator and creative person, I feel like my spirit is just like thriving here, where I am just envisioning content all over the place. So I'm looking to revive, well, I guess I'm not really reviving my Instagram I've had through high school and middle school, and I'm trying to revive that. I think I'm gonna try to revive it. There's one post on there, I archived all my old posts because I just feel like they're not representative of me anymore. I was a user of TikTok when it was still Musical.ly. So I've had an account on there for a while. That's a platform I'm going to try to get on. I'll link those below if you want to follow me as I'm starting those up. They're still very fresh. So I'm gonna try to keep putting content on those. All that said though, it is a few hours since we last spoke. We have taken kind of a break from moving and unpacking because it's just been so much of it the last few days. And we also have tomorrow to get some of that done anyway. So we're trying to not overwhelm ourselves because it's been a lot. But now we need to start figuring out dinner. We don't have much food in the house, so we might try to find something that we brought from the apartment. We didn't have a lot of food left in our apartment when we left it because we were really intentional about trying to eat it all up or just toss it if we weren't gonna eat it and wanna move it. So might make something here, might break in the kitchen, might get takeout, I don't know, to be determined. But all that said, I think it's about time we close out this vlog so we can get going on the next one. Like I said, in the next one, I plan to get some of the grocery shopping done, some of the things that are needed to make this house a home. We still need a few like maintenance items around here. We could use another bag of salt for the water softener. We could use a dehumidifier down there because our builder said we will need one. Since it is an unfinished basement, I guess like the concrete is more susceptible to water infiltration or water absorption, and there's no windows either, so that can kind of offset it at times. Like my parents' basement doesn't need a dehumidifier, supposedly. They were never told to get one because they have so many windows down there, but ours is completely unfinished and unexposed. Anyway though, so we have to do that. We have to obviously furnish and order some furniture and figure that out. Hopefully we're gonna get concrete started soon, grass soon, landscaping soon. It's all gonna be a lot and I'm excited. It's gonna be a little bit overwhelming, I think, but I also feel like when it's all done, when it's all said and done, I might be a little sad to not have anything to look forward to or plan for. So as always, just trying to live in the moment and embrace every experience and encounter and interaction. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in today and joining me for a few special days in my life that are going to be memories for sure, and such a huge milestone. I really appreciate you being here and wanting to share the day with me. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a really great week, and I hope to see you very soon in my next one.